A little highlight in blue. Blue, if it was just a little. Ever noticed? Oh, okay. Really? Huh. Um. Just adding a couple of things into the chat. I'll put this behind me. Actually, I think. Where is the thingamajig? I don't know, so I guess I'll have to use this one. I tell you. Okay, so here it is. So I'm going to give this a few moments for things to settle in, viewers to come in and at least be here, if not introduce themselves. So I sometimes feel like I'm really repeating myself, but it's always going to be different people seeing it, even if it's some of the same. And so, kind of like the preliminaries or whatever the word is, right? So, if you're curious about the topic, then I welcome you to skip ahead if you're seeing this afterwards, and you'll see it. We'll get into it. Otherwise, you can multitask or patiently wait. And I'd just rather save my energy for when there's somebody here, whether they just listen or talk. And I'd be very, 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 very curious. Very, very curious indeed. As I usually am. But... oh, wait. Well, yeah, the last one I did, I see the comments, and there was about as many as before, and I feel like if I kept rolling, she may have stayed a bit more. In fact, I had said, we're gonna get to our dinner soon, so maybe leave, and they didn't, which is fine. I mean, we joked that it was hard to pull ourselves away from each other's content sometimes, or content YouTube and stuff in general sometimes, and how we understand that, and that's actually kind of a good segue as to kind of one of the reasons. And kind of with this topic. So in just a moment, that yeah, I almost used a different word, but yeah, that does look like something else. Is true. Um, I also a quick to it's another one I always intend to do, but once it gets underway, like the previous thing, almost makes a little less sense to kind of worry putting. But this, especially with topics like this, but kind of in general, might be a good one to remember to put it. That might be a good way to put it going forward. Speaking of good way to put things. Um, but I do think it could be misinterpreted. But for right now, it's good. So, um, but yeah, let's see here. Just waiting a few more moments, see if anybody tunes in. Reason. I'll read that comment in a moment. Trying to wait for it to show that the person's still here. I mean, I've been wrong that long, but and also wouldn't mind if one or two other people tuned in before I hop into it. But can't wait forever either, and I know how hard rating can be sometimes. Whether it's something you know is coming up, or whether it's something you're just hoping for in the future and not sure when it's going to come. I mean, it's definitely so. Hi there. On this topic, when I'm not feeling as zen, I notice things more, especially beautiful people. But sometimes it's what makes me feel zen. Amazing. How are you? Yes, I'm doing all right, and that's a very interesting point. I'd be curious. Looks like there was two people here for a moment, but I'd be curious what other people think about it. I'm not too sure what I think about it at the moment, but I think it makes sense. I think it does. Um, I guess you know what my thoughts are when I hear about Zen is you just kind of are able to tune things out more. Um, so when you're not tuning things out and you notice more, then you notice more, and then um, you know one of the hardest things to tune out, and I certainly think that it's about balance, and that we often shouldn't do it, and it's good to also be aware when we're out and about. But is people, I mean, because they can be fairly loud and fairly kind of like there, you know. Um, but you know what? We coexist amongst them, and we get to appreciate that and kind of navigate that all together. So it's kind of a neat little thought. And sometimes it seems to put you in a zenful trance. That's also kind of interesting. I like that. Um, yeah. Okay, so does anybody else want to say anything? Or do you want to say anything else? I do have some thoughts, but I'd really rather wait till there's somebody here. I mean, I think you are, but I can't say for sure if you still are. Come on, where's my scrollers? Where's my not trollers? No. How you gonna just say trollers? Man? I'm waiting. Like I'm sorry I'm late. What's that? It's kind of a different topic for me. I mean, that I don't exactly cover very often, but occasionally. And one of those things that actually I think a lot of people that are content creators and YouTubers um, And now that it's dark, the sun's not out. But it was out more than I thought it would be today. Don't necessarily need to yet, but I will. So I'm going to pause and just save my energy for the rest of this. It's only 7 o'clock, but I probably won't this soon. But yeah, I know we mentioned got a lot of it. Maybe I'm going on. Kind of stuff Saturday. Let's look at that list. Where did I put it? I don't know. Napping, bathing, emptying the dishwasher. Um, Sleeping more. Be calling his brother. Playing the piano. Lifting. Being specific as our names. Yeah. I wish sure it was in this one, but this might be a good segue. It just might be. Oh, cool. That got 2 people liked it, but I don't see comments, which is kind of odd. But okay, sure. So I like this one right now. Well, actually, I did see a few. Yeah, there was 2 kind of. What was it? Just musical. The other one. I'm sorry. Then. The one here was up more than half, more than I'm going in this one and I do in general. But I almost want to play out a bit of one of my previous ones. By the way, if this one gets long and you didn't get to it tonight, and then you see this one, you're looking at this one. I believe the one with the songs in it, it actually started at the 40-minute mark in the 2 hour 20 something, I think it was. So, just so you know, you don't have to watch all of it, of course. Strongly suggested, just kidding, but as much as you can, feel free to comment, of course. Always lovely. So, but I did see a little bit of one of your videos that was kind of talking about this kind of thing. Mostly on the side of men. Now, being that you're really, or women rather, being that you're religious, you might kind of think same thing to both. But everybody's got different opinions, regardless of who they are. And I mean, with this one, I'm almost looking to talk to people that more so agree with my opinions. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like I say, with this one particularly, with other ones, I mean, it's always nice, but sometimes you can agree to disagree, and sometimes that's easier than other times. But do you agree? But yeah, I don't want to just be sitting here not talking. So maybe I should jump into it. If I don't jump into it, I got to jump out of it. Just kidding. Yeah, I would say that those don't need to both be open, but like double. But I have 2 different playlists, so they kind of do. In my humble opinion. Probably could have had this done within the next 5 minutes, but 5 to 10 minutes, but it's been a bit slow to gain traction. So I'm tempted to almost do something. Well, I don't want that to. I don't want to lose those. I don't want to delete it. Sometimes it does. And scrolling the lives, you never know what you're gonna see. And some things are easier to process and take in than other things, I guess. Right. But yeah, some of the ones I found when I did so, I hit subscribe. But I didn't hit the notification bell. Um, and I don't know how to on the computer. I don't think I do anyway. How to see my subscriptions, and it just shows me no. I know how to see who subscribed to me on the cell phone though. I still don't think I know how to see my subscriptions. So yeah, I'm not sure. I also want to do some stuff with. You see that really? I think do some stuff with that music site. I don't think it's going to show it there. Show what I'm looking for there, but it might. But no, it's much more. Oh, it's showing this one. Much more random. Oh, look, it's me. That looks interesting. I don't know if it stands out. If I stand out strongly. Wall customs arm cover. Oh, the other day I think it might be. No, these are the ones that I've. Is it though? Because it's also showing me at the top. Does it automatically subscribe to yourself? I recognize that name from earlier today, but I don't know. Didn't remember that it subscribed to them. Is there a way to search them? No, it doesn't even show all of them. That's weird. Well, maybe I just better get my thoughts out and then wrap up and see what I might end up browsing. So, so, um, sorry for the delay. Oh, that was another thing I wanted to kind of do. Maybe I could do that in this as well. It's not really on the topic, but well, I'm thinking to do it. Since I have this up in his window, and he might forget later. Getting an auto is okay when it's less uptight about things. Better adjusted? I don't know. It depends on the person. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, definitely. The aging process. Meanwhile, he's not really struggling with it that much. So, no, no disrespect grateful for the cheese, but she capitalized it. 68. Learning about your character and sometimes knee jerk responses to things that could be wrong. Looking back at how you were raised and the capacity or lack of capacity that your parents might have had, that is deep. It's a lot to process. And I know that we all relate to it, but some of us more than others. And I would say I relate to it with one of my parents quite a bit. It's interesting to think that somebody close to 70 feels like she never got to know herself, who she really is. I mean, I'm 40 and I've known for a long time. It doesn't necessarily make it easier sometimes, but I'm really looking forward to the things upcoming. I don't know. I mean, I can take vitamins if I feel like I'm not eating healthy. Like I say, eating well, activity, good sleep, trying not to have too much stress, taking vitamins when I need to. I think those are really the best things that one can do. So, uh, then we're getting to who's someone was except really strong religious upbringing. Makes me think of someone I've recently met. That was far too harsh and unkind. God, adored me. So much, so much good to be able for this. Yeah, but does she agree with their process that they have to go through? That's what I'm not sure about. Okay, well, I want to do some other stuff. I think part of it was going to go watch some lives, and I don't want to interrupt, but I could mention that I'm multitasking, and then if anybody, if the person feels that they want to wrap up, or anybody else is curious, I mean, but then it's not always easy to click on. Um, Sometimes just the person who's doing it, but but unless it's odd, because that's a good W for me. Anywho, and speaking of, I'm just kidding, but that has not necessarily anything to do with what I'm saying. I was just a little bit distracted, but let's get into the topic, at least for a brief little bit of time here with this one. Sorry, my arms are a bit chilly, and I think actually speaking of beautiful things, this item of which I'm wearing is kind of one. So this item of which I am adorning myself with. It's too early to have that light off. Um, so some people look at getting compliments as someone being creepy or someone being um, flirty. I could see how definitely you could think the second one, and I think that it's mostly more so not that I've had a lot of experience on this or not, but I think that it's more so women that would find it creepy or men rather than men. But I mean, things are changing these days, and they're more able to accept compliments, which I think is nice because that's what it is. I would say. Um, I had an interesting title for this, and I don't know. I don't want to turn anybody off of it or people to judge it just by the title, even though it might not be that long, and then react in a unnecessary judgment or whatever. But it may have been eye catching. It would have also been eye catching if I could have. But yeah, there wasn't many bugs. If I could have added an image, that I know I didn't. I know I didn't. What's the word? Uh, I know I didn't. I didn't. I know. Uh, put my friend's picture on the other one, but that's also because I didn't really do it. I could put it with the one I did do, like the one today, perhaps, but it wouldn't, or any others that she's visited. But I don't know. But let me just think of something here. I just want to try this because I mean, depending on people's devices or whatever, it might show scroll and it might show still. And whoops. Okay, that's not where it was though. It was over here. Okay. Just want to try something here for a moment. And we could get away with that, or you know, very likely just like out and about. But okay. So I just want to finish what I'm doing, whether it's necessary or not. But I can totally multitask and we can totally chat. Um, I should have. Okay, just right. Okay, and the person left. It looks like I could be wrong, but it looks like okay. And yet, when I was a bit more specific, it should be showing images. Sorry, nobody's here at the moment, so or if they are, it's not looking like it. I'm just gonna try something here. Now that could spark some questions. But that kind of hairstyle, I mean, not every Irish, but perhaps everyone else, it might be kind of unique. Right at the very bottom. 11:29. That is today. Perfect. Boom. Save. Boom. Now was it this tab? Where was it? Which tab was I looking at? That went actually quite. Oh, but that's a little bit of artistic, creative something to it. Like I say, I don't mind if these are just natural, organic as is, but yeah, that's like if say so, I do myself. So yeah, so I just want to check something for a moment here, and I could see the difference on the between the two, but that's kind of intriguing. Is that middle one? Not that huge it matters, but I know it's quite related, but I think she's pretty open-minded. Depending on what she sees this, but she sees this post quite often in general, quite often. Actually, I shouldn't have done that because uh, Jonathan. Sorry, I'll get back on task in just a moment here. Japanish crafts. Anywho, okay. So hopping back to the topic here for a few minutes at least. You're like, no, you're looking at your device. Yeah, because that's where I have something typed, and thankfully it stayed there. So, because sometimes it doesn't. So, I wanted to say a couple points on a particular topic that we all as humans likely think about, whether we try not to, and experience, whether we try not to or don't try not to. And um, basically, I hadn't really put it in this perspective or in some of this perspective before, but I heard it kind of said, and so I took from that and kind of added a little bit to it. So again, I think it's important to realize when somebody is just being nice or complimenting us, and really mostly shouldn't matter who it comes from. To be honest, um, lots of people would tell each other if they like, and even men, I think too, like even supposedly hetero um, if they like something somebody's wearing or they like somebody's hair or whatever it is. This is just a really random topic that I thought of. I think it must have been because of right. No, and this is the reason. This is the reason, baby. So the other day I was mentioning how I was watching somebody's uh, stream. She might be single. I don't know. I'm not judging her. She maybe doesn't have a lot of family, whatever it is, or maybe she was seeing them on different days, whatever. But she was spending a night at the bar, a few hours at least. Live streamed all of them, which was kind of odd. I didn't watch it all. I don't even know what point I was in. I know I had it open, and I guess it could be on the other side of a tab than what I thought. I was looking more that way, but well, the opposite reverses it. But which is why I think you that Hill was getting confused, even though he probably realized that, but he had to try a few times. But um, it was closer to that corner. I know that much. So uh, it may have been that one. Maybe that's why I couldn't find it because it was that one. Why doesn't that one come up all the way? Because it's down there. Uh, because when I opened that, it went to the end of the row. Yeah. So yeah, I was tempted to have a lay down too, but it was just gonna be for 15 minutes, but not the intent of being able to fall asleep. Enough, but I just yeah, symptoms weren't too bad. I had some coffee. Technically, it's not 8 o'clock yet, so I could tell myself how I do things. It's not 8 in the evening yet that I could have some coffee, but near the bottom, I'm kind of content with the amount of coffee I have. Although the event that I have coming up, that really long day, I might have more. And you know, I guess for me, I notice beautiful people often, and online, I'm more inclined to maybe mention it. But even that, not much. Uh, you know, Inner beauty is the most important thing. Uh, but I would say that they both matter. No one's a full package. No one's perfect, and there are things that can make a beautiful person, inner or outer, not attractive. We all feel that, whatever way we feel it. Um, but yes, complimenting is totally fine. Uh, and we could look at it as doing that as opposed to that we're lusting. And somebody will tell you if they appreciate it or not. I think one should be thankful. Um, But the other part that I didn't type, and I kind of was surprised I didn't in the my little notes because I did make a few there, um, is actually something that I thought really made a lot of sense. So this is something that I heard on something else. Yeah, because then they'd want to hang out. So it's better if she was to come. I hadn't marked it as a win. While I'm sick and not hang around much. So I'll let them know that. Anywho, I'm just having a thing. Got a lot to talk about lately. I know. Anyway, the other thing that I wanted to just quickly mention is that we do it with a lot of stuff as humans. It's natural, it's normal. And you know what? We're all attracted to, like, not everybody is attracted to everybody. Some more attracted to more people than others, but and none of us, I mean, yeah, God played his part. I do believe that, but none of us would be here otherwise if humans didn't react out of their instincts when they're attracted to each other. It's always nice if somebody, makes a baby that they're not a deadbeat and that they try and be good parents, of course. Um, but and that's maybe a topic where we can maybe relate or whatever. I suppose that pointer isn't usually kind of on the recording area. We can relate or whatever, but it's best not to compare. Realize what we went through, do our best to deal with that. That would have been a great segment for the thing I mentioned earlier, and that's all we can do. But um, and that's also why I think that even though a lot of people can make it work, a lot of people can't. And if they just looked at it a little bit differently, looked at it as maybe the open, really, maybe they're more of an open relationship or poly type of individual, or could be, then a lot less people would possibly go through breakups or experience cheating. Kind of another thought I had. But as far as like just saying that things are beautiful in general, you know, when we think about that, I mean, sure, people have feelings, but I've thought it a few times recently. It's better to call someone beautiful than to call them ugly, unless they're ugly as a person, like in their character or whatever. And then, um, it's always hard when somebody is, and then sorry, I got something in my eye, I think, and then and I am a bit under the weather, but yeah, it's just like saying this flower is beautiful, or this color is beautiful, or this landscape is beautiful, or you know, or hot, or whatever. Like I mean, I guess that is maybe a bad example that I want to think about because a lot of people see it as when you are feeling attractions to someone. I'm not thinking about you in particular, by the way. I probably should have said that earlier, um, but not either. I suppose I don't know. I don't know. Again, it's something that's very natural to do, and a lot of us don't kind of stop ourselves from doing it. But then you say, "Oh, you treat someone like object of me." But you can treat beautiful objects well, just like you can treat beautiful people well. I mean, and I think that most of us realize that people are not really objects, in any form. Um, a lot of them are very materialistic. Not judging it because a lot of us are, and I mean, I am in some ways too. Just noticing that light a bit on my hair. I think it's just so great. I don't know what it is, but anyway. But yeah, so I think that that's very much a thing as well. So I wouldn't look at it as treating somebody like an object. I would look at it that way, and I don't think that that would be a good thing. One other thing I'll just say for men or people that are attracted to women, because they're the ones that might more notice an attractive woman. Um, you know, no matter what one is wearing, um, sometimes I think we can have the tendency to sexualize somebody, uh, who might just simply because of their gender, chosen or other or by birth, um, or I mean, you could say it with men too. Like even ones that don't work out, some of them are quite muscular. Um, and so it's just, uh, you know, I don't know. I do and don't feel like you can tell Big wrist, not big muscles. I think definitely you can. Um, you know what? Maybe not. But and um, I'm also gonna put. Uh, I know that when I say that though, so I won't make it stand out because there are a lot of you know a lot of when you're in that them of that mindset. But yeah, I mean, they might just simply have them, and regardless of what they wear, unless they wear baggy clothing, they can't hide that, and so they're not trying to get attention. Uh, but I do think if someone is showing them off, that's what one thing my one friend said just in her one of her videos is that they're doing it for themselves. Well, maybe, and maybe to make themselves feel pretty and get self esteem or whatever. But unless we know for sure, we can't say that they aren't also doing it for attention. They aren't also doing it to get looked and maybe looked at and maybe approached, not touched without permission. That's important. And I mean, I probably wouldn't be bold enough to approach well, men because there's still a lot of homophobia. I mean, not as much as it used to be, but women because although I mean, I'm not planning to or whatever, but I am going to be at an event that is going to be a lot of women in it, and I'm going to be able to present myself a little bit more creatively, and they also know what it is, and so they might be kind of like, well, sounds like an idiot, mommy. Not fully, anyway. So I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, give me the for a number of hours. Who knows? I mean, it could be listening to just a conversation, gonna be talking. I almost thought about bringing my guitar in case I get an opportunity to just sit around playing my guitar, but I really do want to try and socialize, which again inspired the post that I have, the non-video post that I made tonight. I think I've made two or three tonight, but it's the one about networking events. But yeah, there was some of it briefly there. But other than that, I don't think they're still there, but maybe they are. But other than that, um, um, yeah, I really just don't see how it could take that many hours of the day. And it's the holiday season, and people have busy lives anyway, so I'm a bit confused. But but and I don't think I'm gonna, even with the various things to do there. I don't think I'm gonna be able to hold the focus. Like I say, I'll feel like I got my money's worth if I, and I'll be curious about something for the back of this. If I stay for till 1 or 2, and reduce health and being away from the dog that long. I mean, usually I guess it's longer than that on weekdays, but not away from the dog longer than that. At least even if we're just around each other. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be tired and buzzing. Like I say, I feel like I got my mind's worth and got enough from it. There might be a bit of FOMO. That is true. But like I say, especially if I've made some connections and maybe we'll even send a tester to ourselves because I rather, but then that's the other thing. Uh, you know, tester to ourselves. What if I should bring the tablet then? Because that double doesn't matter. And then I'd have to be able to get the Wi-Fi, and then I'd worry about not being able to connect when I get back here. But yeah, if we do that, then I would hate to ask somebody to take the time too. But I'll say, is there anything that particularly stood out to you in the last however many hours that I wasn't there, and we can see. But anywho, I think I'm gonna wrap this up now, though. So basically, basically what I thought of to say, and I'm not really sure what else to say. And there hasn't been much conversation. There really actually, I mean, I know I wasn't. I mean, when I was doing other stuff, I kind of was looking at the two things at once, and I was looking to see if there was anybody here, and I guess the algorithms didn't help with this one. And there's so much on this lovely platform that and if some people are already watching other lives as well, like I say, or making them, working on their own channels, then I mean, again, use your own content. You're not just the other way else's. Let it inspire you if you want. Be nice, be kind. And I'm happy to be organic, and it is. But yeah, well, it's at 94%. Oh, that's right. I had it charged earlier. But yeah, so yep. Maybe I should watch this. I was already in the industry and kind of twice. Not very long. I'm thinking tomorrow I might watch this. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't. When I read that little description there, I don't know if it's something he's really going to be that into or not. Anywho, I'm tired. I want to do other stuff, so I got fluff on my shirt or something there. So anyway, so yeah. On that note, keep it kind, lovely, and open-minded, understanding, and bye for now.